Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, so I'm just sitting here in the master bedroom. My wife's in the bathroom doing something. The boys are out playing video games or doing stuff in their own areas. I'm up here because I was looking at this DJI Osmo Action 4. My kids got me this for my retirement ceremony. So as a retirement gift. So I opened it, but I didn't like go through it real quick because I already had the GoPro and I wanted to wait till I got some accessories to go along with this so I don't lose anything. But in order to get the appropriate accessories, I had to open this up. I had to look at it and then look at the components and stuff. So I knew what to order. So now I got an idea what I'm gonna order. But anyways, what I wanted to do today was kind of just talk about what's going on. Talking about my retirement. I think it's been 1 month and like a week since I've retired. So my effective retirement date was June 26th. My last day in the books, or I got removed off the active duty books on June 27th, and then so I have all of July, and then now we're in August. Today's August 3rd. So I've had some time to kind of just figure out what's going on, what's been going on, and kind of share some of those experiences with you. So since transitioning, I got my notes on my phone, so I know what I wanted to talk to you guys about. But I want to just let you know it is a little weird to to think. Now I still get up early. I try to go for a walk, a run, or go to the gym. But now it's at my pace. I don't have to wake up at 4:30. I don't have to wake up at 5:30, be at a formation by a certain time or nothing like that. So I get up at my leisure, go to the gym or go for a walk or go do whatever I need to do to maintain my my health, and then of course my path to better health is what I'm trying to get to now, and that's just going to take a little bit because I'm on certain medications right now that I think is hindering me from getting to a certain point. So I got to try to get off those medications. So it's a constant battle, but and then after I'm done with my morning routine and then trying to get ready for work, it's funny. I don't wear a uniform anymore, but I still kind of wear a uniform. But my uniform is jeans and a polo shirt that's got the logo of the company I work for. I have a baseball cap downstairs that has the logo on there. I don't have to wear that, but I think because I'm a project manager out there, currently I'm an assistant project manager working to become a project manager, but going out there and representing your company is similar to wearing our uniform in the Army. And in the Army we have the U.S. Army and of course our name identification on the uniform. It feels a little weird sometimes that I'm not wearing the uniform, but I don't miss it, not going to lie to you. So for me, it wasn't that strange. I kind of like putting on jeans and a polo shirt and that be my uniform for the day. And I think in this process, in this time, even the time before I effectively came off the books, I ended up taking some terminal leave. And in that terminal leave, I had to figure out my routine, my day-to-day routine. It's interesting. As my day-to-day routine is kind of still similar to what I do in the Army, but I have a lot more freedom. Meaning that if my wife needs me in the morning to go do something with her, take her somewhere, I have that freedom a little bit more now to do that. And until I have to report to work at the office or even at the project site. I've kind of got a hybrid situation going on where I work from home a couple days of the week, and then I go out, check out the project sites, and then usually if I go out to the project sites, I tend to go to the office just to check in and maybe work out of there because I'm closer to the office if I go out to the project sites. So I try to do that. So it balances it out. So I kind of work a hybrid, home and office. It's because I live farther away from where the office is at. So usually I don't want to drive an hour just to go to the office. But if I have to, I do. And then there's days that I work early. Some days I work late. Kind of like similar to the uniform, but late for us is 6 p.m. Or if we have guests that have come in, VIPs or the owners of the company come in, or if there's a special event for the organization, we'll go out and bond with those individuals, and then the next day we're back to our daily routine. So not much has changed in regards to that. I do though miss the soldiers that are, that whole soldier camaraderie with my peers, camaraderie with the soldiers, camaraderie period. Overall, I do miss that. Seeing the soldiers, seeing them in formation, being in formation, doing PT with them. There are times I sit there and miss that. So there is that I do miss in regards to being in the uniform, and because I don't live close enough to the base where I go to the gym there. I actually have to go to the gym off post where I pay for it. So that's that, but that's not too different. The good thing is, it's close to my house, so I have more of that availability to go to the gym regularly. But I do miss hearing the cadences. I do miss just walking down the hall and then stopping soldiers and having a conversation with them. I kind of still get a chance to do that in comparison because I have employees in the company that when I go out to the project sites, I stop, shake their hands, and kind of just do the same thing I did in the uniform. So I kind of have the best of both worlds. And then the other thing is I don't have to be as strict as I was on active duty versus on the civilian side. And I have to be very cognizant too, because I realize I'm not in the Army no more, so I have to give them kind of a bit of a leeway in regards to my expectation management. In the Army, it's frowned upon when you're super late. When you're late, even if you're a second late, a minute late, it's frowned upon. Here, it's okay. Generally, if you're 10 minutes late, you're 10 minutes late. Get to work, move on. So those are the little things that I have to adjust my expectation and just understand. And then of course understanding just the different personalities, that they don't have the same personality in regards to like the aggressiveness or the need to move faster to get to a certain point. A lot of them just work at their own speed. So other than that, I'm adjusting fine. I guess finding my new identity outside of the military. One thing I think for me, and some of you may have different opinions on it, those that have served. Yes, the military sets certain expectations for me to meet and to be a certain way as a leader, as a manager. But one thing that I have learned, and many leaders that have mentored me and groomed me to be where I'm at, where I was at in the military, a lot of them have always told me, don't change because you have the rank. Change for the better, obviously, but don't change who you are because of your rank, your status. You just got to be cognizant of the audience, right? So for me, it really isn't an issue. I've never really changed who I was. I've always been a shenanigans type of guy, but I still believe in work hard, play hard. Even now in my civilian job, I still believe in that mentality, and I express that and I share that with them. So that, so that's the cool thing with this side is I don't have to be so aggressive. I don't have to be so pushy. We get the job done, and the motivation here, I think for most of these guys, unlike our soldiers, their motivation is, being able to work their shift, do what their job is, and then go home, right? Here, it's, do their job, be on time, work hard, but also a lot of them, because of how the economy is, and especially up here in Virginia, Northern Virginia, it's fairly expensive. So a lot of my employees are already asking for overtime. So we can't always give them the overtime, but when we do, man, they jump on it and they continue to work hard. So that's something that I think as I transitioned out into civilian life are the things that I've kind of had to pick up and figure out. But starting my new career, it's a little different, and I have to really think about when I transitioned out of the military. When I was in the military, I had set expectation. We had standards. We had task condition standards that we met. Here in the civilian sector, we still kind of have that, but it's a little bit more lax. I can't yell at the employees. I can't smoke them, right? I can't make them do push-ups because they made a mistake or weren't somewhere. I have to be very cognizant of that. So I think as I transitioned to my career, there was that mindset, that military mindset I had to shake out of me, kind of like shaking the cobwebs out of your brain. I had to do the same thing in regards to this transition, right? So I think it's been easy for me because I really, like I said, I know who I am. I know what the military was to me. So I never really had that issue of differentiating those two because I've always stayed true to who I am, even in the uniform. So to me, it felt like it was no transition. But it's like everything else. You still go to work. You still try to find your niche at the job, what makes you stand out amongst your peers. And then you just, you continue to advertise yourself the same way you advertise yourself in the military. All I'm doing now is just advertising in the civilian sector, but I have an advantage over other people. Some of these folks are coming out of college, applying for these big positions, and they may not have the experience level of leadership or management, whereas I already have that. So maybe it allows me a little bit more flexibility in regards to how I react or how I intervene in situations that have occurred during the day. So the transitioning piece has really been hard for me. When it comes to the job itself, I think I'm learning the job and I'm picking it up to the point where I'm bringing attention to myself, and now I have people saying, hey, would you be willing to do this, meaning to move up or move laterally to a different position. And sometimes that's what you just need. You just need to continue moving forward and doing what you do so that you transition effectively, right? So luckily for me, I've been able to do that. I've had no issues with that. The hard part for me in this transitional period is I'm kind of behind the power curve because I come from a medical background, being in the military. All my MOSs or my military occupational specialties have always been on some sort of medical. Uh, so now I'm going into construction, right? More tailored construction, but uh, it's forcing me to learn. So I've had to create, or I've asked Chat GPT, right, to sit down after I put some agents in and then said, hey, this is what I would like. This is what material and source product I want you to utilize. I want you to create lesson plans for me. So every day I take an hour, anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour to learn about working for data centers or understanding what data centers are or the different scopes that we with the company I'm with, the type of scopes that we practice, like raised access flooring, putting hacks up, mesh ceilings, and some other things that we do. So, I've had to sit down and force myself to watch YouTube, watch or listen to podcasts, understand the impacts of creating data centers or building data centers around residential area, or why is Virginia, Texas, I think North Carolina, why are they becoming popular locations to build these data centers? The power grids, how are all the power grids in the United States intertwined, interconnected? So I had to do a lot of research and understand those, while also trying to understand the current position I'm in and understand my role, so I can better support the team on the job sites, the teams on the job site, and of course support the leadership above me. So those are the things that I've had to kind of figure out and pre-position myself. The good thing is I've had that time before I actually moved here to Virginia to kind of get myself and slowly integrate myself in and slowly learn what this data center is, and the impacts it has, right? That's the biggest thing, is understanding the pros and cons of having a data center. Some of you that are watching this may be upset. Hey, I'm working for a data center. Some of you may think it's cool. And then there's a percentage of you that say, man, that sucks, right? Or don't care. So that's one thing that I've just learned over the years, is just to go with the flow. But I've always tried to make myself understand what I'm doing, so when I'm in that job site, I can talk from at least knowledge base, not necessarily the experience. Management is management. Leadership is a combination of that management and, of course, the ownership of being of that role, right? So, for me to be able to motivate other people to do their job, I've got to understand what I need them to do. So that means I need to understand what the data center is all about, or what my company's scopes are, so that way I can make sure that we're following those guidelines, those processes. One thing that I've had to really focus on too is the OSHA requirements, the safety requirements on site. Those play a big factor in those things too. Other than that, I think I find it enjoyable. I'm not rushed to learn. I'm learning every day. But in that process and in this job, I've learned to balance myself a little bit more, balance my life, so that I'm, I don't feel like I'm focusing all my efforts at work. I'm actually being able to focus and balance out my efforts. So at work, I'm at work and I'm 100% there. And then I also know, hey, by a certain time, I need to be home so I can spend time with my wife, spend time with my kids, my boys that are here with me. And then on the weekend, I don't have to worry about getting a phone call, because usually we don't work on the weekends. So, and at midnight, I ain't got to worry about a phone call about somebody getting a DUI or some kind of issue that has come about. So that's the cool part about being in my civilian job, is I don't have to worry about all those things. I don't have to worry about getting an early morning wake up call at 3:30 to do a UA. UA is a urinalysis for those that don't know, and